here has ever felt stress? Making sure everyone's awake. Only a couple of you? Who here has felt stress? Okay. How many would love to not have stress in their life again? Interesting. At what point in your life is it possible for you to have no stress? When you're dead. Thank you. So whether you have stress or don't want stress, whether you like it or not, get over it. Get over it. Life is stressful. However, it's how we interpret stress that makes the difference. Because we know that there's good stress and bad stress. And what might be for one person's demise, what might cause one person's demise, is someone else will thrive with. And it all has to do with interpretation. My daughter and I, who's in the back, she and I have run a couple of half marathons. And there are times that I'm laughing having a half marathon. Now, you would think like you're a little crazy running, 12, 13 miles and laughing as you're running and whatever. But for me, it was not just a miracle that I was running. And I'm not fast, I'm not pretty, but I did it for the sake of really experiencing and being in the process of that experience. And it was fascinating because at one point I started to get a little sore. And it's great being a chiropractor because you look at your gait and you start to change a few things around. And a little bit of the, why am I doing this, came creeping into my mind. And then this fellow passes me and he has a limp. Actually, he's got quite a limp. And I looked at him, and of course, being a chiropractor, I'm looking at his back, coming down his spine, down his hips, down to his knees, down to there are no feet. Bilateral foot prostheses. Well, my brain reset instantly and went, I can't even go near complaining. This guy's running as a bilateral foot amputee on prostheses. And all of a sudden, the stress of that first marathon that I did, which was in Toronto, half marathon, went. It just went away. And it was a remarkable thing because it changed the interpretation. Charles Darwin said, it is not the strongest of the species that survives. It is not the smartest of the species that survives. It's the one most able to adapt to stress. And how we adapt has to do with our interpretation. So look at when you're under stress and look at the molding and sculpting that you've done with yourself and say, how can I change this pattern? If this outcome isn't working for me, why am I going to keep creating the same event? Because guess what? The outcome isn't going to change. So what do I need to change at least move me in a different direction to put me in a different outcome? And remember that everyone has stress. There's no way. For you to have a muscle strong, you have to stress the muscle. For me to talk to you, I have to stress my vocal cords, and I have to stress my thoracic cage to get the air out, to make it audible, to get out to you. For me to stand up here, it's stressful. I'm having to resist gravity. For me to pump my heart, I'm having to meet the resistance of a vessel wall with a pressure wave, which is stressful. But it's all how we interpret it. So what I'd like you to write down on your sheet of paper is something that just says, I commit to, and then you fill in the blank. I want you to commit to something that you can do differently from the moment you get home tonight.